welcoming one and all to Read Between the Lines, curated just for you. I am Surabhi Jamal, and today I'd like to read and discuss a hard hitting poem written by a Kashmiri poet, the late Abdul Ahad Azad. The doomsday clock is ticking, ticking furiously as we race towards certain extinction. And we have the stars telling us what to do to save ourselves. This poem has been written around 70 years back. Unfortunately, man, did he pay heed to all the warnings given by the celestial bodies, the stars? Let's read and find out. Come, join me. Stars Speak to Man. Stars Speak to Man is a hard hitting poem written by the Kashmiri poet, the late Abdul Ahad Azad, and has been translated into English by Professor G.R. Malik. Born in the village Chadora, Kashmir in the year 1903, having little interaction with city intellectual environment, Azad was much ahead of his time. Limited formal education could not obstruct his exposure to critical, diverse viewpoints. Even while respecting tradition, he did not walk on the beaten track and preferred to be the rebel rather than the refined. He had a very direct style of writing and desired through his poems to create awareness among individuals to accomplish something positive that would help humankind rather than destroy it. Most of his poems became popular after his death. He died in the year 1948. Some of his popular works can be found in the Koliyat-e Azad, which include Revolution, Servitude, and Badshah's Lament. Now, this poem was written almost 70 years back and is a bitter depiction of what humans have done to the planet and themselves, and each word holds true today, perhaps more so. Now, since humans don't listen to each other, the poet has chosen the beautiful medium of the celestial stars to speak to him and perhaps drill some sense into him. Now, the practice of watching stars is not new. According to the World Book Encyclopedia, farmers have for thousands of years watched the stars to know when to plant their crops. Travelers learn to use the stars to tell directions. Even today in space travel, stars are still used as guides. Ancients also invented myths of persons, animals that they felt were pictured in groups of stars or constellations. So let's start reading the beautiful poem, Stars Speak to Man. You were the light of reason, but you chose to be the fire, O man? You put humanity in disgrace. How careless of you, O man! Nature had fashioned you to apportion love and affection, but you took to buying and selling religion and faith instead. So, in the first lines of this poem, stars are literally criticizing man for all his wrongdoings. What do they say to him first? They talk about the callousness of man, who happens to be the crown of creation. So, we all know that man is supposed to be on top of the ladder of intelligence, and all other creatures are below him. The poet, or the stars actually, lament the state of man who was born with the capability of making sound decisions, proper decisions, fair decisions, but instead he chose the path of destruction and discredited or brought some kind of bad name to the entire human race. Man was designed to share and distribute love and affection. The word apportion means to distribute. But he let go of his conscience by trading in religion and faith. The next lines are, Nature had thrown open all its treasures to you. You had to share them equitably, but you sat serpent like on them. One world, one mankind, as close to one another as the nail to the flesh. Who then ignited the fire of division and duality in your mind? The stars continue to pinpoint man and his selfish nature. They say that man has started amassing or gathering the world's wealth just for himself, the doors of which were opened to him by Mother Nature herself. This wealth was supposed to have been shared justly, fairly, with fellow human beings. But alas, he sits like a serpent on them, refusing to share. The stars observe that mankind is supposed to share one world because they are all one. The stars wonder who has put the double standards in man's heart, who has ignited the fire of division and duality in his mind. Let's read the next lines. You pose to be the pillar of religion and dharma without caring the least for either. Seeing your shameful deeds, humanity has fallen into lament. Should mankind ever own and profess a religion and faith which perverts the essential unity of man into division and disorder? We have the stars making an unexpected, rather sensational statement in the lines that follow on observing man's dangerous playing with the sentiments of fellow human beings on the basis of religion. The stars say that man seems to be pretending to be supporting his religion and in reality is far from being religious or caring for what God wants him to do. Why? Because he cares neither for religion nor for faith. In fact, he is inciting other people and creating war between men on the basis of religion. This is indeed a fact that we see occurring day in and day out throughout the world. Thus, humanity seems to be mourning for the fall of man. Man has stooped to the lowest of levels. The stars then make a statement which is absolutely revolutionary. They say that should mankind even own or be part of a religion, professes to be a part of a religion and faith which corrupts the essential unity of man into division and disorder. What is the use of being part of any religion if it teaches you to destroy or pit one man against the other? Moving ahead, let me read. To mischief and disruption, you have given the name of religion and patriotism. That which you call awakening is a stupefying hangover. Your own misdeeds have deluded you, and you grumble against fate? Still pursuing the hackneyed ways, how can you ferry across? Your heart restlessly vibrating, your vision clouded by fantasies. All this is a fanciful dream. Now wake up, O man, wake up. It seems man has done nothing right as the stars continue to expose his follies one by one. And what do the stars say here? They say that man has wrought havoc in the name of religion and patriotism. These two words are thrown left, right, and center to encourage man to pit himself against one another. The thing which he calls awakening is basically an intoxication. Man's downfall has been brought by man himself, but he holds his fate responsible for it. The stars then ask, how can man expect to move ahead in life by following outdated methods? Hackneyed means outdated. There is restlessness in the heart of man, and his eyes are veiled by fantasies which will prove to be mere dreams. And the stars finally urge, cajole, request man to wake up and come out from the world of fantasies where he has been trying to convince himself that he is still the best, the biggest, and even perhaps greater than God, and that he can do anything and everything. But then that is a mere fantasy on his part. The concluding lines give no solution, give no hope to the reader. And what do they say? Friends and mates who shared your woe, like parts of your own heart. How could you tear their heart to pieces, you bloodthirsty man? In your garden, you cut roots while watering twigs and leaves. Your own home you ransack and ravage and tear apart. In the last lines of this poem, the stars continue to disrobe man, to show the true colors of man as to what he has allowed himself to become. His friends and mates, people whom he cherished, people who were close to him, people who were very close to his heart, whom he loved and cared for. He did not even spare those people. In the lust for power, in the lust for moving ahead, for gaining money, he betrayed those very people. Not only that, in his own garden, while watering twigs and leaves, he was foolish enough to rip apart the roots, the part that gave him nourishment. This, in fact, is alluding to man exploiting nature. What will we do when all the trees are cut? We foolishly keep on cutting down trees, cause deforestation, climatic change, and then we are now on the brink of a big human disaster. How foolish of man to go ahead and ransack, that is, loot, and really destroy all parts of his very own home and tear it apart. These are the concluding lines of Stars Speak to Man, and I'm sure you will agree that they paint a very grim picture. Even as we read this poem today, we know what mankind is going through. The COVID-19 pandemic has rendered us so helpless. We are absolutely clueless as to what step we have to take to survive. And this poem, written 70 odd years back, painted a picture then. We could have taken some kind of precautions, but alas, now it's too late. Or is it? Is there a ray of hope? I guess only time will tell. Let's look at some more details of the poem. You must have observed that the poem is written in free verse. There is no rhyming scheme. What are the themes of the poem? Humans are the cause of environmental degradation and wars fought over land and religion, and humans should realize the impact of their misdeeds and make amends before it is too late. What is the tone of the poem? The tone seems to be angry and desperate, negative and pessimistic. So that was Stars Speak to Man. Crystal clear warnings given by the stars' celestial bodies 70 odd years back, and I don't think anyone was listening. I do hope this poem has been made clearer to you by me. Thanks so much for listening in. I am Surabhi Jamal taking your leave now. See you soon again. Bye bye.